Now, viewers, in a major humanitarian effort, India is sending a team of doctors and nurses to Bangladesh to help and treat the people who were injured when the fighter jet crashed into an academic institution in the neighboring country's capital. This comes after Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed solidarity with Bangladesh after the tragic air crash in Dhaka, claiming the lives of 19 people and injuring several others. A training aircraft of the Bangladesh Air Force crashed into the Milestone School and College building in the capital's Attara area during the class hours, sparking panic and chaos. The aircraft involved in the crash was a China-made F-7 jet used for training purposes by the Bangladesh Air Force. The impact of the air crash triggered a massive fire and sent thick plumes of black smoke into the air, as seen in the television footage from the scene. Rescue teams rushed into the control the blaze and evacuate the injured to nearby hospital for better treatment. Now, where does India's role come in? India's helping hand towards Bangladesh in this situation is being commended by the Bangladeshi public. This, in fact, is not the first time that India has taken part in providing humanitarian rescue operations. Let's take a closer look at the instances where this has also happened in the past and how exactly in the past during these natural calamities and such fatal unfortunate incidents in neighboring nation, India's helping hand has come in. And as we see, this is the time when the Air Force jet crashed in Bangladesh. When we speak of the aid that has been provided, a team of the burn specialists was specially designated to be sent off to Bangladesh in Dhaka, where the jet crash took place. As this air crash, what we can see from the visuals is understandably very, very unfortunate, claiming the lives of 19 people. Specifically, the destination where this has happened is also pertaining to the school vicinity, injuring many school children as well. Now, we speak of this year as well, where India was in fact the neighbor that comes forward during the time of need and crisis. We see at Operation Brahma in Myanmar, where 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit, and India's swift action did take place in also providing the humanitarian aid. 15 tons of relief material, including tents, blankets, other basic amenities, and also food packets, including hygiene kits, were sent off, while generators also in fact were given out for basic amenities that could be now taken live. Now, we see at the Operation Kaveri, where in Sudanese military and civilian forces conflict did escalate. This was a time in 2023 where in Sudan, India did reach out to the affected people and to the military leadership as well, where the aid provided was 24,000 kgs of humanitarian aid, where there were nearly 4,000 people who were evacuated under India's Operation Kaveri, and some foreign nationals using the 17 aircrafts and 5 naval ships that were specially sent off and designated to take out the evacuations and carry out the rescue operations. We look at now in the same year Operation Karuna, which took place in Myanmar during the time when Cyclone Mocha did take place. You can see in the visuals there was a massive destruction scene with the aid which India did help in the first instances of good neighborhood policy was food, medical supplies, other relief material that was specially dispatched for the speedy help that Myanmar could possibly take. Now, in the year 2023, under the Operation Dost in Turkey and Syria, during the time of 7.8 magnitude, you can see in the pictures where the scale of destruction was very severe. The aid that was provided by India under Operation Dost during the time of the earthquake, which was 7.8, quite high one, was search and rescue teams, medical personnel, food and relief material that was also dispatched and treated nearly 4,000 patients, all this while the country was going through a difficult time to grapple with its existing resources to carry out the rescue mission. Now we speak of the Operation Devi Shakti in the year 2021, which was taken out to help the people of Afghanistan during the Taliban takeover. Quite a dark time for Afghanistan. Arguably, in fact, one of the notably historic moments in the history of Afghanistan for the people at large when Taliban did take over, and of course, in fact, posed a massive crisis for the people into the leadership as well of the political instability that it fell out. And the aid that India provided was the evacuation of 800 people, including there were Indians and other vulnerable Afghans who wanted to be rescued during the time when there were a kind of fear spreading out. While the evacuations and the rescue missions were taken out, 50,000 metric tons of wheat, 28 tons of disaster relief and 200 tons of medicine that was dispatched for the rescue operations as the relief material as well. Now we speak of Operation Samudra in the year 2020, 5 years ago. In the country during the COVID-19 pandemic, Setu 1 and 2, 100+ countries. Operation Samudra was India's outreach to help all the nations affected during a time of crisis. And that is how India has been in the front row of being the neighbor that the nations would deserve and like to maintain a good relation with, as during the times of need, crisis, and any type of instability, India does come in, acts swiftly and provides relief material. We see during the COVID-19 pandemic when it did offer a political instability and the kind of economic dent and setback for all the nations, over 24.7 million vaccine doses were donated to 42 African nations. Highly deprived and deplorable state was witnessed there. India did come in as a good nation, and 2 million to Brazil as well. Hydroxychloroquine was also sent to 55 countries then. Now that is India's operation over the past 5 years, where we have seen outreach programs reaching to these affected nations and also coming in during the time of need. Viewers, India has yet again proved during this time in Dhaka that it has been in fact a neighbor which the nation of any kind of a crisis would want to have. Now joining me live on the telecast is my colleague Brian Thomas for more details. Brian, as India has now also yet again during this time in Dhaka at the time of the air crash has dispatched relief material, sent out the specialized team of doctors and nurses of burn specialists to be taken out for the treatment. What more information are you able to fetch?
Well, Simran, clearly now India has extended immediate medical assistance to Bangladesh following the tragic air crash that happened in Dhaka's Diabari area. Clearly also the MEA has said that issued a statement confirming that a team of burn specialist doctors and nurses equipped with the necessary medical supplies would soon travel to Dhaka to assist the treating the injured, and even the Indian team will also be conducting an initial assessment of the patient's condition and recommend further treatment, including possible transfer to India for specialized case. Now, based on the findings, also additional medical teams will be deployed, and even the Prime Minister himself yesterday said about how shocked and how saddened he is about the loss of lives, and said that it happened during the routine training sortie when the Bangladesh Air Force just lost control and crashed into the milestone school and college. Yes.